All right, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into something that I know a lot of you are curious about, and that is combining exercise with fasting. Um, does it really give you that extra edge when it comes to losing fat? There's so much buzz around it, but we're going to dig in and see if it lives up to the hype.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question, and the science behind it is really fascinating. When you fast, your body goes through a series of changes to keep things running smoothly. And so initially, it's going to use up its readily available energy source, which is glycogen, and that's stored in your muscles and liver.
So that's why people often talk about depleting glycogen stores when they're fasting, right?
Exactly. That's it. And once those glycogen reserves start to dwindle, your body has to find another energy source. And that's where things get interesting because it turns to your fat stores for fuel.
Okay, so that's where the fat burning magic happens. But how does the body actually break down that fat and use it for energy?
So it's a process called lipolysis. Basically, fat cells release fatty acids into the bloodstream, and your body uses those fatty acids as fuel. Now, here's where exercise comes into play. Working out while fasting can actually enhance this fat burning process.
That makes sense, but I've always wondered, doesn't working out on an empty stomach leave you feeling kind of drained, like you're running on fumes?
Yeah, you bring up a good point. You might experience lower energy levels, particularly if you're used to fueling up before a workout. Remember, your body typically relies on glycogen for quick energy during exercise. And when you're fasting, those glycogen stores are depleted, so you might feel a bit sluggish, especially with intense activities like HIIT or heavy weightlifting.
And what about the risk of muscle loss? I've heard that's a concern when you're both fasting and exercising.
Yeah, that's a valid concern. When your body's searching for energy sources during fasting, it can potentially break down muscle tissue for fuel,
Mhm.
especially if you're not getting enough protein. That's why it's crucial to prioritize protein intake when you're combining fasting with exercise.
So it's not just about when you eat, but also what you eat. It sounds like getting enough protein is key to preserving muscle mass during this process.
Absolutely. And beyond protein, we also need to be mindful of electrolytes. So you see, when you're fasting, your insulin levels drop, and this can lead to increased excretion of sodium and other electrolytes through your urine. Combine that with sweating during exercise, and you can end up with an electrolyte imbalance.
Hmm. That sounds like it could have some unpleasant side effects.
Mhm.
What should we be watching out for?
Well, you might experience symptoms like dizziness, fatigue, muscle cramps, or even headaches if your electrolyte levels get too low. Staying properly hydrated and possibly incorporating electrolyte supplements can help mitigate this risk.
So there are definitely some important things to keep in mind. I'm sure our listener is wondering, are there any specific fasting protocols that work particularly well with exercise?
Yeah, there are a few different approaches, and the best one really depends on your, individual preferences and goals. Intermittent fasting, where you cycle between periods of eating and fasting, is a popular choice.
Ah.
Uh, One common method is time-restricted feeding, where you limit your eating window to a certain number of hours each day.
So, for example, someone might eat only within an 8-hour window and then fast for the remaining 16 hours.
Exactly. And that 16-hour fasting period often includes overnight sleep, which makes it feel a bit more manageable for many people. Now, when it comes to combining intermittent fasting with exercise, timing can play a significant role in how you feel and perform.
I bet that's where a lot of people get tripped up. What's the best way to time your workouts when you're fasting?
Well, many people find it beneficial to schedule their workouts towards the end of their fasting window or just before breaking their fast.
Okay, so strategically planning your workout to coincide with when your body is primed for fat burning, and you can quickly refuel afterward.
Exactly. This approach allows you to tap into those fat stores more efficiently and helps minimize any potential energy dips during your workout. Plus, you can replenish your energy stores pretty quickly after.
That makes a lot of sense. But let's be realistic, not everyone is ready to jump into an intense workout while fasting. If you're new to this, where's a good place to start?
If you're just starting out, easing into it with low-intensity activities is a great strategy. Think walking yoga or light cardio. These can be a good way to get your body moving and accustomed to exercising in a fasted state without putting too much stress on your system.
So don't go signing up for that marathon just yet.
Right. And as your body adapts, you can gradually increase the intensity and duration of your workouts. Now, while cardio is great, don't underestimate the power of strength training, especially when it comes to preserving muscle
I
mass.
was just going to ask about that. How important is strength training in this whole equation?
It's absolutely crucial. Remember, when you're fasting, your body is in a catabolic state, meaning it's breaking down things for energy. That includes both fat and muscle. Strength training helps counteract that muscle breakdown by stimulating muscle protein synthesis, the process of building and repairing muscle tissue.
So it's like sending a signal to your body saying, hey, hold on to that muscle, we need it. Are there any specific types of strength training exercises that are particularly beneficial?
Compound movements, which engage multiple muscle groups simultaneously, are great choices. Think squats, deadlifts, bench presses. These are all excellent examples. They're efficient, effective, and help you maintain overall muscle mass.
It's fascinating how all of these pieces fit together: fasting, exercise, and nutrition. And speaking of nutrition, let's talk about breaking the fast. What's the best way to refuel after a fasted workout?
After a workout, your body is primed to replenish its energy stores and repair any muscle damage. So it's essential to provide it with the right nutrients. Protein should be a top priority. It provides the building blocks for muscle repair and helps prevent muscle breakdown.
So reaching for that protein shake or grilling up some chicken breast after a fasted workout is a good move.
Absolutely. And don't forget about carbohydrates. They play a crucial role in replenishing your glycogen stores, which are depleted during both fasting and exercise.
So it's not about fearing carbs, but rather choosing the right types and timing them appropriately.
Exactly. Opt for complex carbohydrates like sweet potatoes, oats, or quinoa. They provide sustained energy and help restore your glycogen levels.
What about healthy fats? I know they often get a bad rap, but they're important for overall health, right?
You're right, healthy fats are essential. They play a role in hormone production, cell function, and even help with satiety, keeping you feeling full and satisfied.
So incorporating healthy fats alongside protein and carbs when breaking the fast is a good idea.
Absolutely. Think avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil. These are all great sources of healthy fats that can be incorporated into your post-workout meal or snack.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from the science behind fasting and exercise to specific strategies for making this combo work for you.
And remember, it's all about finding what works best for your individual body and lifestyle.
It's been a really insightful look at how fasting and exercise can work together,
Yeah.
but it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Yeah, that's a crucial point. There's no magic formula. The key is to experiment. Pay attention to how your body responds and find a sustainable approach that aligns with, your overall health and fitness goals.
So to recap, combining exercise with fasting can be an effective way to boost fat loss, but it requires a smart and personalized approach. Timing your workouts, prioritizing protein and electrolytes, and choosing the right types of exercise are all key factors to consider.
And perhaps the most important takeaway is this. Listen to your body. Don't push yourself to the point of exhaustion or discomfort. If you're feeling lightheaded, nauseous, or overly fatigued, it's okay to stop, break your fast, and refuel. It's all about working with your body, not against it.
Yeah, it's about finding that sweet spot where you're challenging yourself without overdoing it. And remember, this is just a starting point. There's a whole world of information out there on fasting and fitness. If you're intrigued by what we've discussed today, keep digging, do your research, and consider consulting with a healthcare professional or certified fitness expert to get personalized guidance.
That's excellent advice. What's so fascinating about this topic is that we're constantly learning more about the intricate ways our bodies respond to fasting and exercise. So stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring what works best for you.
This has been a fantastic deep dive into the world of fasting and fitness. Thanks for joining us. We hope you found this exploration insightful and empowering,